Welcome to Roswell City Hall. This will be the Monday, October 24th meeting. We have lots of folks to recognize, lots of things to celebrate. And with that, we'll have the Sons of American Revolution present the colors. Advance the colors.
To the front, mine. Sir, colors are present.
Advance the colors. We have the young Marines here to lead us in the pledge.
Present. Color.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gary, color.
With that, we would like to invite the young Marines to come forward and introduce themselves and who they're here with. Gentlemen, if you'll come forward to the microphone and introduce yourselves. Gentlemen, if you can follow him.
My name is Young Marine Sergeant Bennett, Athan Bennett.
My name is Young Marine Private First Class Alex Clemens.
I'm Young Marine Staff Sergeant Bennett, and we're here with the General Raymond G. Davis, Metro Atlanta Young Marines.
And as we're standing, I'd like to read a proclamation regarding Veterans Day 2011. Whereas in 1921, the unknown soldier was buried on a Virginia hillside in Arlington National Cemetery, overlooking the Potomac River in the city of Washington, D.C. The site of this burial in Arlington National Cemetery symbolizes the dignity and reverence of America's veterans. And whereas these memorial gestures took place in England and France on November 11th, giving universal recognition to the celebrated ending of World War I at 11 a.m. on November 11th, 1918. And whereas on May 13, 1938, Congress declared that the 11th day of November each year will be a legal holiday, a day to be dedicated to the cause of world peace, and a day of celebration to honor America's veterans for their patriotism, the love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. And whereas Veterans Day is a day to thank our veterans for their service to our country and acknowledge their contributions to our national security, we'd like to honor those who have served and sacrificed for our country today, November 11th, and every day. And whereas the city of Roswell is proud to acknowledge our veterans who are employed by the city, now therefore I, Jerry Wood, Mayor of the city of Roswell, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2011 as Veterans Day in the city of Roswell, and urge all of our citizens to recognize the sacrifices and dedication of our veterans today and throughout the year. Thank you, gentlemen. Well, you can have a seat. Oh, wait.
Post national colors. Post remaining colors. To the front, mine.
Gentlemen, you may take a seat. And now I'd like all the veterans in the room to stand, and let's give them a hand. Veterans, if you'll stand for us. Thank you. Next, it's my privilege to read a proclamation regarding National Red Ribbon Week. Whereas communities across America have been plagued by the numerous problems associated with illicit drug use, and whereas there is hope in winning the war on drugs, and that hope lies in the education and drug demand reduction, coupled with the hard work and determination of organizations such as the Young Marine of the Marine Corps League to foster a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. And whereas governments and community leaders know that citizen support is one of the most effective tools in the effort to reduce illicit drug use in our communities. And whereas the red ribbon has been chosen as a symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Kiki Camarena, a Drug Enforcement Administration agent who was murdered in the line of duty and represents the belief that one person can make a difference. And whereas the Red Ribbon Campaign was established by Congress in 1988 to encourage a drug-free lifestyle and involvement in drug prevention and reduction efforts, and whereas October 23rd through October 31st has been designated as National Red Ribbon Week, which encourages Americans to wear a red ribbon to show their support for a drug-free environment. I need to jump on Robin for telling me, reminding me to not. I should have worn a red bow tie tonight. I apologize. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Wood, Mayor of the City of Roswell, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through October 31st is National Red Ribbon Week, and urge all of our citizens to join me in this special observance, that I will be wearing a red bow tie tomorrow in favor of that. So, Young Marines, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I also thank the ROC cadets, Christian Bally, Kevin Miguel, Anatoly Abramam, and the Sons of the American Revolution, Alan Greenlee, Paul Prescott, Jack Ferguson, Bob Sapp, and George Thurman for presenting the colors tonight. Let's have a hand for the folks who presented the colors. They did a much better job than I did. And today, gentlemen, you may be excused. Thank you for coming in tonight. And tonight we're also recognizing our Administration and Finance Department with Administration and Finance Week. We had a great lunch today from, who was it? Marco's Pasta, a new restaurant in Roswell. I encourage you all to enjoy great pasta. Whereas the week of October 24th, 2011 through October 28th, 2011 will be recognized as Administration and Finance Appreciation Week. And whereas the mission statement for the Administration Department is to provide a results-oriented communication service and innovation to our customers, and the Administration Department currently operates with 60 employees, and whereas the mission statement for the Finance Department is to provide excellent and accurate service to our customers, financial stewardship to our city's resources, and professional services to our city departments, and they operate with 23 employees. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Wood, Mayor of the City of Roswell, do hereby proclaim the week of October 24th through 28th as the Administration and Finance Appreciation Week, and call upon our citizens to recognize the talents and dedication of our employees in these two departments who strive for excellence and provide the best customer service to our citizens. So would the members of the Administration and Finance Department stand tonight? Kay, you're one of those. Robin, let's have a hand for these wonderful people. They make sure that everything runs smoothly and that we have money to do it with, and we appreciate that. They do a great job. And the next proclamation, which it is my privilege to read, is the Family Month proclamation. I have lots of families here, and I appreciate that. Whereas the City of Roswell recognizes the family as the fundamental unit of society and an essential part of cultural, social, and the spiritual fabric that compromises our community. And with it, I'd like all the children to come up in front of the dais as I read this. Come on, kids. We're going to call them all up. Daykin is also Daykin Scow. So I'm going to invite all the kids to come up here. Let's get them all to come up. Stand in front of the dais. Let's have a hand for these kids. All right. Do we have any children that are not up here? No, you're too old. Come on, young man. I see somebody hiding. He's bashful. Come up with him if he's too bashful to come. There are 2 kids. Come on, kids. You can come. You can do this. Come on. Oh, we got anybody back there, Janet Russell? Well, they're teenagers. All right. We'll let them go. I see a young man standing up here. Young man, are you coming up? We're not going to make you speak. All right. We've got a few more. All right. Thank you for coming up. I do this to all our young visitors. I always humiliate them, but being humiliated publicly is the first part of learning to be a public speaker, and we all needed to learn how to do that. Whereas throughout Roswell's history, families have been the foundation of our society and a source of stability and love for every generation. And whereas strong families teach children to live moral lives and help us to pass down the values that define a caring society, families provide children with the encouragement, support, and love they need to become confident, compassionate, and successful members of society. And whereas upholding the timeless values that have sustained our social order throughout history will result in the enhancement of the health and security of all of Roswell's families. And whereas spending more family time together facilitates the development of a positive and open relationship between parents and children, these relationships help parents encourage their children to make positive choices. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Wood, Mayor of the City of Roswell, do hereby proclaim November 2011 as Family Month in Roswell and urge all of our citizens to spend more time with their family members and strengthen the relationship between parents and children. Let's have a hand for all of our children and all of our families. And do we have someone who's going to speak on their behalf? Sure. Yes, sir, if you'll go to the dais, if you'll go to the microphone.
Mayor Wood and Roswell City Council members, thank you for your service to our community, and thank you for keeping Roswell a great place to raise families. Since each of us have come from a father and a mother, each of us belongs to a family. While some families may be very different from the traditional challenging world, may I suggest some thoughts around this special time of the year as we we're beginning to approach, and some ideas that each of us, no matter what type of family we have, may do to find a little peace. The Family Month in the Roswell, Georgia. Let's do something as simple as controlling our thoughts and words when we are faced with an aggravating moment with a family member, neighbor, work associate, or even driving in traffic. I know for me, it helps to turn the TV off and other distractions removed when I'm having a conversation with my wife or children. I'm sure each of us has experienced some aggravation with somebody close to us in our lives. It is being better at small things that will keep our minds clear to thoughts or impressions of bigger ideas in which we can make a difference this month. Let's take time this month to reach out to a loved one that is far away, either in our heart or by distance, and express our appreciation for them for being part of our family. Let's think of the widow or the widower that could use an encouraging visit or invitation into our homes to help drive out feelings of loneliness or sorrow. Let's be thankful to every person we know that is serving in our country in uniform, and thank them for the freedoms which we enjoy at this time of year. Let's also thank their loved ones for their sacrifice as a family for this service to us and our country. Let's take time to get to know our neighbors a little better, even if they do sing karaoke with their friends into the late hours of the night. By the way, my neighbors are much better singers than I am. We can make our neighborhood families better by getting to know them, no matter the differences. Let's not forget our own family and take time to focus on family strengthening activities this month. They could be as simple as having dinner together, going to the movies, attending a sporting event, or inviting others into our home for an evening of uplifting entertainment. Successful families are built upon principles of communication, respect, faith, forgiveness, and love. If these principles are missing, work on one of them in the month of November in your home. There are many other ideas that we can do to build our family. Whatever they may be, let each of us make a resolve right now that we will do something to make a difference in our own personal family, neighborhood, work, or the city of Roswell in the month of November and support the proclamation from our mayor, Jerry Wood. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Let's have a hand for families. Unless any of these guests up in front of the dais wish to have any other public announcements, you may be dismissed. And for those who didn't join us up here, you'll never get to be mayor of Roswell until you get over your fear of audiences. So the best time to begin is now. So next time I invite you, come forward. There's everybody that was up here survived and probably learned something from this. The next proclamation it is my privilege to read is America Recycles Day in Roswell. Whereas the recycling market infrastructure in Georgia makes it the most prominent recycling states in the nation. Viable markets exist in the state for paper, aluminum and steel, plastics, glass, tire, organics, and electronics. And whereas recycling creates jobs and has a positive impact on communities throughout Georgia. And whereas Georgia is the second largest pulp and paper producing state in the nation, accounting for over $10 billion of annual product sales and $1 billion in annual payroll. The 15 mills in the state use recycled contents for their production. 9 of them rely exclusively on recycled materials for their production. And whereas recycling saves energy, conserves water and other non-renewable natural resources, and reduces greenhouse gas emissions, resulting in better air quality. And whereas a 2005 waste disposal characterization study funded through the Solid Trust Fund reported that Georgians annually discard over 2.6 million tons of commonly recyclable materials, including 1.9 million tons of recyclable paper, having millions of dollars worth of raw material value to Georgia manufacturers. And whereas sustainable recycling programs provide the raw material that businesses need to grow and thrive and promote private sector investment in public recycling programs. And whereas the City of Roswell is pleased to announce that the Roswell Recycling Center will observe ARD as follows: a Facebook contest on November 1st through the 15th, partner with the City of Milton for Bulky Trash Amnesty Day on November 5th, hold a Shred Fest on November 12th, conduct a customer appreciation event on November 12th, host a household waste collection on November 19th, as well as add on-site documentation, shredding, and CFL light bulb recycling to the Roswell residents. And whereas the City of Roswell and Keep Roswell Beautiful encourage all of our citizens to complete a pledge form promising to recycle more at the Roswell Recycling Center and at the curbside. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Wood, Mayor of the City of Roswell, do hereby proclaim November 15th, 2011 as America Recycles Day in Roswell and encourage all of our citizens to participate in recycling. Do we have anybody from Keep Roswell Beautiful here today? Janet Lieber, anything that we need to add to that? There was a long proclamation. Is there anything I left out? Anything that needs to be recycled? Come on forward.
I think you pretty much covered it all, Mayor. What I would like to add is if people will go and like us on Facebook, then they can take part in the Facebook contest. There'll be a different question every day for 15 days. The first person who answers it correctly will get a special prize, but on November 16th, we'll take all the 15 winners and put them in a drawing for an iPad from our sponsor, Carastar. So
This is Keep Roswell Beautiful. Friends of Keep Roswell Beautiful?
Keep Roswell Beautiful.
Just look for Keep Roswell Beautiful.
Keep Roswell Beautiful. So, yes. Well, you need to like the Roswell Recycling Center
I
page
love
to
the
participate.
Recycling Roswell Center, and not just like it, I love
There
it.
you go.
Okay, well, let's all like the Roswell Recycling Center.
And then
Keep
you
Roswell
might
Beautiful.
win an iPad. So there you are. And on the light bulb recycling, we are doing that now. It is for Roswell residents only. We're limited to the tube light bulbs, like the ones in the lights here, and the U-shaped ones. And also the document shredding on site is for Roswell residents only. So we're excited to add those.
Well, thank you for all that recycling. Keep Roswell Beautiful does an excellent job of protecting our environment and recycling and
Thank
making
you.
the world a better place to live. Thank you, Janet Lieberman. And next, we have a recognition of Roswell winning an award. And who is going to be presenting that, Ms. Love?
That would be Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. We have a special award tonight. As many of you know, we have the core presentation that we do for any new employees that come in, but we also offer existing employees, some of our long-term employees, to come in, and it's an orientation type program that lasts for several different sessions for half a day at a time, where we go around to different departments and learn what the different departments do and how they operate. And in the administration department, we actually put together a video that is a kind of a story to sort of introduce all of the
Do we get to see any of your videos?
new employees. Yes, sir. We'll have that for you to see that introduces all of the different division managers and the department heads. So
Bring it up.
There's an award for that video. We'll show it to you now.
Each with unique skills and experiences, but with a common goal: to work for the best-run government in the land. Their quest for greatness would lead them here to the city of Roswell and to the department known as administration. Here are their stories. Building Operations Manager Dennis Miller oversees the maintenance of all the city's architectural treasures. He and his staff painstakingly care for more than 245,000 square feet of space, making sure the city's buildings are preserved for years to come. Human Resources Director Dan wrestles alligators all day long, recruiting and retaining employees, handling payroll, and negotiating all of the benefit packages for the city's workforce. Marlee Press is the keeper of the scrolls, also known as the city clerk. She meticulously records and preserves all of the city's important documents, as well as overseeing all city elections. Grants Manager Danny Blitch is known as Roswell's treasure hunter. Over the last 10 years, Danny has brought in more than $36 million in grant money to the city. An impressive bounty indeed. When the story of government needs to be told, there's no one better than Community Relations Manager Julie Breckville and her staff. Through TV, social media, or in print, they make sure the citizens have the correct information in a language they understand. David Davison, the city attorney, uses his razor-sharp legal skills and a lot of paperwork to defend the city from legal actions of all sizes. As Court Services Manager, Robbie Barkley stands watch over Roswell's municipal court calendar and docket, court marshals, and probation officers. Nothing gets missed when Robbie's around. Budget Director Keith Lee keeps a watchful eye on the city's loot and investments, ensuring that Roswell's financial affairs are in order, down to the last doubloon. Deputy City Administrator Michael Fisher pilots administration through daily operation, avoiding adversity and keeping the department on course to achieve its mission. City Administrator Kay Love uses her years of experience and knowledge as she handles the many challenges and demands of managing 600 employees and a city of 100,000 residents. Now you've met the 11 talented division leaders of administration. But what about the staff? Who are they? What do they do? Which one has to take care of that alligator? Find out all this and much more during the PowerPoint presentation.
Let's have a hand. Great job.
Of course, Julie Breckbill is our Director of Community Relations, and she's going to present the award, and I know she's got one of her staff here that she wants to present to.
The Savvy Award that we won for this is a big award for any communications person that works in government. It's a national organization that recognizes excellence in communications, and that we won for the educational video category this year for that video. So we wanted to show that to you. I would like to ask Amy to come up, Amy Kargas, because Amy is the one who shot this and edited it and wrote it, to congratulate her, because a lot of work went into that, and of course all the division managers were involved, as you could see, and were good sports about everything coming up. We shot it in room 220, so we're very good sports about the whole thing. Amy, congratulations, and to give this to you.
Let's have a hand for Amy. Great job. Thanks, Mayor. And next, I'd like to recognize Queen of Angels Catholic School for a record, a world record. And who is here on behalf of Queen of Angels?
Hello. I'm with
Those are some of the
staff.
ones who were hiding when I asked everybody.
They
to
were
come
the ones
forward?
hiding. They feel like teens because some of them have graduated from our school and some are in 8th graders. This was a video journalism class, and the assignment was to research world records and what it takes to break a world record. And these are a small portion, there's about 16 in the class, that did the research on the largest game of hide and seek. And I'd like to extend a special thanks because there was a lot of criteria and standards. It's only because of the support of the local community that we had Jerry Orleans, Nancy Diamond, and then Morgan from Parks and Rec were a key part of putting in the verification, the witnessing, giving professional statements, that we were able to get through that whole process, that we're part of the Guinness World Record, that we've been officially have that. So it was really somewhat of a special thing. So if it wasn't from a community effort, this would not have achieved. We did it, we had over about 236 children that played for over an hour, which included all our middle school students and our kindergarten students.
And
we had
play
witnesses.
hide and seek with that many people?
Well, these people, if you went to ask, they figured it out and how to do it, and you had to take turns of who was it, and they never thought they were going to get tired of doing that. So this is the teachers and then the students. So we were kind of excited that we were able to achieve this.
How long did it take to find everybody? No, you only had one person as Ed, and you had 236 people to find. Was this also the longest hide and seek game? Just the most people playing?
Just the largest.
The largest.
They took turns with it. It ends up you would go through cycles. So who was
the hardest to find?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Because they all ran at you at one time.
Good things. Of course you would say that.
All right. Well, let's give this Queen of Angels a hand for the world record. I understand my council would like a photo op with the world record holder. So if the council would join our world record holders,
that'd be wonderful.
We would love
Thank
to get
you.
our picture taken. World record.
You were the people I was.
I don't want anybody hiding in their thing.
Oh, wow.
Y'all know that before. We're going to get I'm going to be hiding behind people. So what's the next world record y'all going to go for?
That's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
Give us a couple of years.
All right. Congratulations. Let's give them one more hand.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. It was a fun time as we were able to do that. Thank you.
And I have saved the best for last. Not totally last, but on the agenda we have the Friends of Bullock here and the Magnolia Ball Committee. And I'd like them to come forward and tell us what they're up to. Friends of Bullock and Magnolia, come on, let's not be shy. I know you've got a lot you've got some things to announce.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We wanted to give some long overdue recognition and thanks to all of these amazing volunteers who make up the board of the Friends of Bullock Hall, Inc. and the Magnolia Ball Committee. We want to acknowledge them and for their ongoing contributions to the enhancement and preservation of Bullock Hall over the past many, many years. These two groups of dedicated volunteers have devoted many hours over the past 14 years to raise funds for and build awareness about Bullock Hall. The results include the reconstruction of 2 well houses, 2 privies, a summer house, and 2 slave cabins. The second reconstructed slave cabin style structure was just completed, and the ribbon cutting occurred on September 14th, 2011. This meticulous new structure will serve as the administrative offices and meeting space for the site. The slave cabin project is part of the overall reconstruction of the service yard area, which will allow for a more authentic interpretation of the 1839 site. So on behalf of the City of Roswell and all of its citizens, we thank you for your commitment and dedication to Bullock Hall and our community. Your efforts will be treasured by all for generations to come. So we have a small plaque that we want to present to everyone tonight that says, City of Roswell recognizes and thanks Friends of Bullock, Inc. and Magnolia Ball Committee for their ongoing dedication to the preservation and enhancement of Bullock Hall.
On behalf of the City of Roswell, I want to thank this group for everything they've done. Bullock Hall has never looked better in my lifetime. You've really, oftentimes we have master plans that seem to never get built. Y'all have built this master plan and done a great job, and it has enhanced the site and enhanced the entire city and made it a much better experience. So on behalf of the City of Roswell, I want to thank you. Let's give these folks a hand. And I'd like to invite my council to join you to accept that plaque. No, they're getting the plaque.
They're getting the plaque.
We're giving them the plaque?
Yes, we are.
Well, let's go down and give them the plaque. But let's hear Bill Gray speak first.
I just want to thank you, but the people that get all the credit are all these standing behind me, and the people that contribute all the money over the years, Jerry. As you know, you've been involved with us since our inception, and we appreciate what you've done and what council does.
And we appreciate everything you've done. And with that, let's join these folks for a get bask in the glow of all they've achieved. And again, great job over there. Great job. One more.
I don't know.
Good job. Like such wonderful. Proud every time I go over there. Wonderful, wonderful. Good work. Places never look better. You continue to make things. I'm shaking your hand twice. You're getting your double duty here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. One more hand.
Y'all did a fantastic
We got one more thing to hit. That is the Willow Springs subdivision. Yeah, they really have done everything they said they were going to do. That site is just about built out. I'm not sure what else is left. Bill, what else is left to do over there? Bill Gray. Bill, what is left on your project list? Y'all have just about done everything. What's next? You go to the microphone, tell me what's next. It looks like you just achieved about everything you set out to achieve.
Well, we still have to build a carriage house.
Where's the carriage house going?
I beg your pardon?
Where's the carriage house going?
If you come over from the house, when you go through the gate, over towards the new slave cabin, it'll be right on your right there. That's where the original site was.
Have you taken a look at the carriage house at Mimosa Hall? The original one's still standing over there.
No, we've got a picture of the
You need
side
to
of
walk
it.
over there and get Ned to show you. It's an incredible building. Because that carriage house is original, I think. And it's your next door neighbor. It'd be worthwhile to go visit it.
But I might insert here that we have spent somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 since we took over the duties that you bestowed on us when you became mayor.
And we appreciate your raising that $300,000 too. That was money
Thank goodness
raised,
for all
and
the
we appreciate
contributors,
it.
Jerry.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I know you continue to do a great job every year.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I would like to recognize Councilmember Becky Wynn to recognize a homeowners association.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. While I'm reading this, I see JB, Paul, Frank Hasty, Kim, Janet, KRB guys, come up here. And the Willow Springs. Presentation by the Willow Springs Subdivision Homeowners Association to keep Roswell beautiful, and the Drake House in the amount of $1,000 each from the proceeds of the second annual chili cook-off presented by the Willow Springs Homeowners Association. Last year, it was probably like, what did we raise? $800 total, maybe, or $800 each?
No, 800, about 700 each. But
Yeah.
this was not by Willow Springs this year. This is from the Red Hot Chili Society of Hysterical Roswell, Georgia. Willow Springs neighborhood didn't really have anything to do with this year. It's
Hey,
our.
I'm just reading my notes,
Yes, ma'am.
Paul.
And I'm
just
sorry,
reading my notes.
Councilwoman Wynn, but we made some corrections prior to the council coming in the chambers, and I guess you didn't get it.
I didn't get the memo, but anyway,
No.
I'm just very proud of.
But we can thank Willow Springs for letting us use their park.
Right, I'm very proud because I think there was 17 entries, and I tell you, trying to eat 17 different chilies is a feat in itself. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bieber and Mr. Hasty.
Thank you. So, as Ms. Wynn was saying, we had a chili cook-off about a month ago or less, and we chose two charities to give our money to. One was Keep Roswell Beautiful, one of our charities that are near and dear to our hearts. And last year we gave around $700. This year we're able to donate $1,000 to KRB. Go ahead.
Oh, me, you. Frank? Frank, get over there. I'm not going to smile if you don't get in the picture.
Thank you.
So when are we going to have a world record chili cook-off?
Well,
We need to. Oh, we do.
Thank you. And we also have another charity that was able to come tonight so we could do it all in one lump sum. One of our great Roswell neighbors is the Drake House. And that was one of our charities last year as well. But this year we're able to give them $1,000 as well for the Drake House. Kathy?
We need to get Queen of Angels to set up a world record chili
Come
cook-off.
on.
They've done the research.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. What was your question, Mayor?
You need to get with Queen of Angels, so we'll have a world record chili cook-off. They know how to do it now.
They know how to do it.
They're not the chili. They know how to go for world records, how to document it.
Oh yeah, the world record. Now I'm with you. Yeah, I was.
We have experts.
I think
in the house.
we're really hoping that this gets bigger and bigger every year, and we're going to go to the Willow Springs Park.
Now. I'm looking for world record.
Yes. Mr. Hasty has an answer.
We're working on that. That's why I had a page out of your book, but no, seriously, we are working on that. We've been in touch with the Guinness people for the past 6 months. And we're just trying to make sure we're on the same page as far as the understanding that they know what we want to do and that we know what's required. But we've been.
Well, do they have a category for chili cook-offs?
No, but it doesn't matter.
But you need to create one.
We will. We're working on it, but they're trying. There's a communication barrier across the Atlantic here. These people are.
Send them some chili.
Great Britain.
They may not get it. Send them some chili.
We're working on it. It's a long-term deal.
Councilmember Price has something to add.
Thanks.
I just want to say that I appreciated the offer of the Tums at each station to mollify the effects, but I must report that it was so excellent it was not required.
Good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Glad you folks got to come out.
We look forward to next year's chili cook-off.
We'll see you then. Thanks.
And that completes the fun stuff. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Is there a motion by Councilmember Wynn? Is there a second? Second by Councilmember DiPolito. Does anyone in the audience have any questions regarding the consent agenda? All in favor, raise their hands. Yes, you have a question.
Does that include all minutes? Because there were a couple of. Yeah, there were a couple of minutes corrections. They're minor, but.
Well, let's correct them before we take the vote.
Page 9 of 22 in whatever one has 22 pages. Oh, it was just the spelling of the name, Bill Hardman, at the top of the page. It's Hardman, not Hartman. And a couple of places on the next page, double dip recession was mentioned a couple of times. And that just needs to be looked at. And also...
Double dipper, I like that. I think I don't see why we need a correction.
And then on the top of page 12, first word on the second line, governance. That was it.
Any other comments on the consent agenda before we take a vote? All in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda? Unanimous. Next, we'll call upon Becky Wynn again for liaison to the Environmental Public Works Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Approval of a change order to the Corps of Engineers for additional costs for the installation of the well house, water treatment system, and distribution line in the amount of $51,000. Mr. Mooring.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. As you know, this is for the construction of the well house to draw water from the well that we found on property off Willio Road. This will reduce our annual purchase water cost by approximately $200,000 to $250,000 or more. The contract with the Corps of Engineers calls for us to pay 25% of the cost. And so with this addition, that will be a total share cost of $377,000. Estimated cost, if we had built this project by ourselves, was $650,000 to $700,000. This was approved for consideration tonight by the Public Works Public Safety Committee on October the 11th, and I recommend your approval.
So the payback for this investment will be 2 years?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
2 years.
That's correct.
What is the expected life expectancy of this well?
The well itself would have an indefinite life cycle. The pump station would be estimated at 25 to 30 years, although minor maintenance would be required along the way.
That sounds like a great return on the investment.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Moore, this is coming out of our enterprise fund, correct?
Yes, ma'am. This is money that's already budgeted for the groundwater well project. This is just a change order on this particular project.
Okay. Move to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Wynn to approve. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Diamond. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. At this time, I'll call upon Councilmember Kent Eichelhart, liaison to the Recreation and Parks Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as I introduce this, I'll ask, here he comes, Jeff Pruitt to come up because he's been working on this. But this is the approval for the mayor, city administrator to sign a contract with Progressive Roofing for the roof replacement of the East Roswell Park Recreation Center in the amount of $276,495. And we're going to do that with an environmentally sustainable white roof. And if you don't mind, Jeff also mentioned the solar panels we're looking at.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Councilman Eichelhart. We work with Richard Brownlee with the Finance Purchasing Department through the TCPN, which is the Cooperative Purchasing Network nationwide. For this bid, we received 4 bids. This roofing system is a white membrane roof. It's also LEED certified, so we wanted to go with the Go Green initiative for Roswell. And we also had addendums to hopefully later on add some possible solar panels in the near future for that recreation center. And we are asking for approval from Mayor and Council to sign a contract with Progressive Roofing for the replacement of the East Roswell Recreation Center roof in the amount of $276,495.
Is there money set aside in the budget for this maintenance?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve the contract.
Motion by Councilmember Eichelhart. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Orleans. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, come forward, please.
Not so much a question. My name is Janet Russell. I live at 260 Willow Springs Drive. I just want to say thanks for putting a white roof on. I put a white roof on my house 3 years ago, and I've cut my power bill by 40% during the summer. I would like to see the city of Roswell encourage the homeowners to, when it's time to replace a roof, to replace it with a white roof. If you study the history of roofs in the South, you will realize that all roofs were white until Northerners began to move down here and brought their black roofs with them. And then air conditioning got invented and the front porch disappeared. So I would hope that it would become city policy, or at least offer some sort of incentive to homeowners and business owners as they replace their roofs, because a study's been done on how much power is actually saved, the usage is saved when roofs switch from black to white.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. We have a question. Councilmember Price.
I was just curious in the differential in the just straight cost of that roof and the solar panels compared to like what would have been for
solar panels.
They was talking about putting solar panels on it.
No, ma'am. We did an alternate in the event that we can cooperative use there's a energy grant that the city has right now that's under the admin department. And we work with Michael Fisher and Danny Blitch. Dennis Miller with building operations is primarily the one going through all the city buildings right now with the replacement of the lighting system. If there's any funding left over at that time, we put the bid out there so we could hopefully piggyback. And we've also talked to Danny Blitch about a possible additional grant if the funding for this is not available at the end of this grant cycle, which I think Mr. Fisher said we should know something by the end of November.
Okay, so that's not part of this.
No, ma'am.
And how many years does it take to pay off the roof?
Our consultant has that information. It's as Ms. Russell said, it's supposedly a quick turnaround with the HVAC bills as well as the power bills. I know that's the original roof that was on in '89, and it wasn't a white membrane. And we've been having tears because of the weather over the last years that we're to a point where we need to do something. And being on the Go Green committee, we need to do something that's LEED certified and also sustainable for the city.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, I'll call upon liaison to the Transportation Department, Councilmember Rich DiPolito.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item is approval to purchase a needed permanent easement from Glenridge Warsaw CVS LLC for the MARTA offset bus stop amenities project in the amount of $3,750. I know this was a difficult issue to solve, and I'm glad to see it here on the agenda. Mr. Eisenberg.
Thank you, Councilman DiPolito. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, as you're well aware, Roswell is a strong supporter of multimodal mobility. Said another way, we support the use of alternate forms of transportation, including mass transit. What we did here, I'm trying to get this on. Is it not working? We have in your packets a small parcel of land that we purchased, a permanent easement for one of the 25 bus shelters. Thanks, Julie. Whoa. All right, we're zooming in here. We're putting in bus shelters all over the city, and one of the places that we are going to put is a high traffic location. Thanks, Julie. This is Holcomb Bridge Road, and this is Warsaw, and there's a CVS pharmacy right there, which takes a lot of use, and we provided a permanent easement for a bus shelter at that location at a fair market value of $3,750. It did take a little while to negotiate this contract, but I'm happy to report that we were successful in that negotiation. So we're looking for approval to complete this transaction.
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Councilmember DiPolito. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Wynn. All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions from the floor? I see no questions from the floor. Passes unanimously. Next item, please.
The next item is approval of a change order to AT&T for utility relocation services for the Oak Street Streetscape project in the amount of $321,178 for AT&T. Mr. Acebrecht.
Thank you, Councilman DiPolito. This is a two-part item. We are very proud of the transformation that we've recently undertaken on Oak Street. As you know, we're trying to bring some of the beauty and economic vitality from Canton Street down to another quadrant of our city. One key component of the Oak Street streetscape was a fairly radical utility relocation process that had to occur before the actual streetscape went in. And that was a combination of working with Georgia Power, Mira Electric, Charter Communications, and AT&T. In some cases, we made estimates that ended up being over the budgeted amount, and we got a refund. In some cases, we made estimates that ended up costing us more to actually complete the work than we originally budgeted, and this is the case with AT&T. AT&T's building is here, and they ran, just to orient you on this, is an aerial photograph. This is State Route 9. This is North. This is Oak Street. And so the original phase one was to go from State Route 9 up here to Bush Street. In order to make all of the utility connections work, AT&T actually had to connect to some of its existing infrastructure actually outside of the first phase of our project. And they went down here to Ellis Street, and they made a little jog down here, and they made the connections that they needed to in order to make all of these aerial, all these wires that were running on the poles actually go underground, which was what we asked them to do, and they did that. However, the cost for that work exceeded our budget. It exceeded our budget for two primary reasons. One was the underground utilities that they had to work around were more extensive once they opened up the ground, and we had to make some modifications in the field. That also contributed to the fact that in some cases we wanted some of these ducts to run under the sidewalk. Well, there was no room under the sidewalk, so they had to run them under the road. In order to run them under the road, they had to be encased in concrete so that the weight of the vehicles running on the road wouldn't crush them. So we had a difference of the actual alignment and then the actual location of the facilities. And so tonight, I'm asking for approval for this change order so that we can finalize our contract with AT&T.
Mr. Stationback, what was the total budget for the Oak Street Streetscape project, the whole project? What did we spend?
The entire streetscape project was $1.4 million, in the range of $1.4 million, Mayor.
Now,
and of that,
we budgeted $1 million for. What did it finally cost us?
Well, we're still getting the final details, but of that, almost $1 million was paid by Community Development Block Grant money. So the city's contribution is going to be on the order of about $400,000.
And do we expect to come close to what we budgeted, $1.4 million? The final costs are going to be within?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to tell you that based on all the information we have to date, all the bills that have come in with all the contractors, we will still have money left over to the tune of around $9,000. It was close, but we're ahead of budget. Yes, sir.
Does the council have any questions? Councilmember DiPolito.
Mr. Eisenbach, I just want to clarify that we're under budget even with this change order. So that incorporates this change order as well?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Councilmember DiPolito for approval. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Eichelhart. Does anyone in the audience have any questions? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
Next item is approval for the mayor and/or city administrator to sign an agreement with Comcast for the removal of an overhead line in the amount of $14,527.77 as part of the Oak Street Streetscape project. Mr. Eisenbach.
Thank you, Councilman DiPolito. This is the second part of the Oak Street item tonight. As we were working with the utility companies, where the poles were on lines, you're standing on the ground, you're looking at a lot of wires that are hanging up there. We were dealing with just about every utility company that services the city. And when we moved, when we changed the location of the power poles, when we talked with all the other utility companies, it turned out that there was one lone wire up there, and it took us a while to find out who owned that wire, and it turned out to be Comcast. So this shows you, this is actually the picture of the new streetscape with the wires up above are the power lines. Those were the only wires that were to remain on these poles. But we have this one Comcast wire. We worked out a deal with AT&T for them to use most of their underground duct bank to relocate that wire. However, there is a little bit of boring and a little bit of boxes that they need to connect. And so with this $14,500, we will be able to bury this last non-electrified wire so that the poles that carry the power lines will be basically void of any other lines on them, and it will give a much cleaner look to the streetscape project. And I know you're going to ask this, Mr. Mayor, so I'll tell you that yes, even with this expense, we will still be under in the overall budget.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Councilmember DiPolito. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Price. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. This time we'll hear from our city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item on my agenda is approval of an ordinance to annex the Broadwell property by the 100% method. This property was actually in Cobb County. The property owner got Cobb County and Fulton County to agree to move the county line. Therefore, the property went into Fulton County and became the only parcel that was available for us to annex that was left. He's now applied for 100% method for us to annex him. And with your approval, Mayor, I'll read the ordinance.
Please read the ordinance.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to annex the Broadwell property. Be it ordained by the Mayor and Council of the City of Roswell that whereas under provisions of Article 2, Chapter 36 of Title 36 of OCGA 363620, the City of Roswell may, upon petition of not less than 100% of the property owners, take action to annex such property. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council do hereby adopt the following ordinance. The City of Roswell does hereby annex the property described in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein, and more particularly described below, into the corporate limits of the City of Roswell. They have approved this to be the first reading of the ordinance.
Are there any questions regarding this? Do we have a copy of the plat of this property just for folks in the audience to see where it is? I guess we don't. It's 2 residential lots on West Road. Yeah, put that up. It was property which is in was in Cobb County. It is now in Fulton County. It can only be reached by public access from Fulton County, the City of Roswell, and Mr. Broadwell requested that he went to the respective counties and requested that the county line be moved. His children go to school in Roswell, and all of his connections are Roswell because it takes him 1.5 miles to get to Cobb County by the road. So he requested this change. And these are 2 residential lots adjacent to the City of Roswell in Fulton County now. It is the last unincorporated part of Fulton County north of Atlanta. So does the council or anybody in the audience have any questions regarding this annexation? As for full disclosure, I was Mr. Broadwell's attorney in handling the changing of the county boundary line. As a private attorney, not working on behalf of the city. Do we have a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion by Councilmember Wynn. Was that a second by Councilmember Orleans? Motion. Does anyone have any questions regarding the first reading of this annexation ordinance? This will probably be the last property we annex into the City of Roswell. All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
The final item I have is a recommendation for closure to discuss the acquisition of real estate and litigation.
We have a motion for closure. Motion by Councilmember Wynn. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Price. All in favor, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. We have a work session in room 220 to discuss Park and Rec matters.